Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to another interesting modelling company Sunday car service. And as you can see, I'm joined tonight by a man who likes to be known as Lancer Enthusiast Anonymous, Mr. Ian Hartup. How you doing, Ian? How you doing?
I'm all right, actually. I've had a couple of days off. I've spent most of them ensconced in the workshop, pushing that there towards completion,
which we'll talk about in a moment.
It's been good. It's been a couple of days. September, as usual in the motor trade, is fun, but yeah, it's good.
When do the new car registrations come out then? Is it August?
1st of September.
Oh, 1st of September, right. Okay, so yes, it is going to be hideously busy for you.
1st of March and 1st of September. Whoever came up with that idea needs beating to death.
Yes, disclaimer, they don't need beating to death.
Really yes. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. We've got projects to talk about tonight, and excitement here because I finally got round to launching my dehydrator that I bought on your recommendation, but we'll come to that in a moment. You, sir, you have finished you finished the Lancia, haven't you?
2 models I finished since we were last on, actually.
Good Lord.
Finished something else as well, which is yeah, I finished the Lancia. So should we have a look?
Yep.
We'll do all that. So forgive me for the affectation of gloves, because the surface, I really don't want to cover it in fingerprints.
No.
For obvious reasons. Because it's a little bit shiny in places. So this is the Italy 1/12 scale Lancia Stratos. It's finished. And I'm happy, and I'm hoping Andy's going to be happy with it. It has got its working functions. The door hinges are probably the weakest part of the kit, actually, in retrospect, I now find. But basically, it's you can possibly see it. There's just a block, 2 pins on the door, and a block that interlocks, and then the block's got 2 pins in it, and it bolts onto the side of the body. The problem is there's nothing to stop the door just flapping loosely in the wind.
Yes.
Which is not exactly prototypical. I believe they only open to about here on the real car, not all the way over there. Which is a little bit odd. But apart from that, I am actually pleased with it. There's a few places where it has fought to me. Let's just say that. Suspension all works as it should do. Yeah, and there are some areas of this kit which are an absolute delight. The dashboard instrument panel, that is just immense fun. That was really, really good fun to build. There are a couple of dials, blank dials, where I need to find some clock faces that fit them, because there's a pair of stopwatches. It's very difficult to show you because lugging it around is fun. Inside on the dashboard, you may be able to see 2 round white discs kind of right over there. Look.
Yeah.
And so on the kit, they just give you these 2 cylinders on a block and kind of go, paint that black and stick it there. On examination, what that is a pair of stopwatches, and it's for timing stage and segment times. And they've not given you anything for it. They just give you them as, and they're hollow as well, when they should obviously have these watches mounted on the front. But that's the only weak point to the dashboard. The rest of the dashboard is wonderful. The spare wheel bay is nicely detailed, as you can see. The radiator's a lovely piece of tooling. I like the flexible hose piece here. That made that a little bit easier, being molded in the vinyl, the same vinyl as the tires. There's a bit, if I'm honest, there's a bit too much play in the suspension setup. The let's see if I can do this. These arms here, there's too much, you see?
Yeah.
And that kind of weakens the back suspension. So this side, I think I've rebuilt the rear shocker about 4 times now. And it's the best I can do with it, to be honest. But am I happy with it? Yes. I actually said to someone that I would build another if I could, which is
another Stratos?
Yeah, there's rumor of the road going version, the Stradale version coming next year.
Right.
And in fact, all the bits for it are in the box. For the road,
that's pretty much a nail on then, isn't it?
And it's the one thing, the fest, it's in these mud flaps. Look.
Yep.
They were held on with double-sided tape, but the double-sided tape has given up the ghost. So I'm gonna have to find another way of fixing them. But they give you nothing for them. So they give you this lovely rubber sheeting and say, kind of glue that there. And then there's these Photo-X chains that hold them up. But as you can see, the rubber wouldn't fit with super glue. That went out the window without damaging the paint's finish immensely. So I thought I'd try some double-sided tape, and that has not lasted the day. So I'm going to have to work a way around that, which means that I'll just dismantle this and rebuild it all. But to be honest, it's probably the most fragile bit of the kit, so I need to make sure it's reasonably robust, because obviously if it's going to shows and stuff, I don't want to get that phone call from Andy that says, we're going to have to bring it back to you, you need to repair it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
quick question. So what paints did you use on that?
All the green and red is decal.
Yep.
There are obviously, I did, as you remember, I did a mix using a couple of Mr. Color shades to match it, and that was a mix of Mr. Color 64 and 66, which is yellow, green, and bright green, which gave me the mix. That was used for things like filling in around where the fog light housings are at the front and stuff. And I had enough of it in a pot for touch-ups, to do all the various touch-ups, because there were plenty. All this is deckled green and red. They're cartograph decals. They're beautifully printed. I would say some of the problems I had with them were self-inflicted, but the amount of adhesive on that sheet is off the scale. And it really, really interfered with everything else afterwards. And I can't kind of work out why that was different on that particular sheet. When we've all used cartograph decals for years, I think it was just the sheer size of them meant that you had immense quantities of adhesive behind them. And it kind of got in the way of things like the clear coat and subsequently getting the finish right. There's some real highlights in this kit. I mean, some of the engineering is very, very good. Some of it is it's a nice idea. Whether it's practical is another question. I've ended up with about a half of a degree twist in the back section here, which is why this doesn't quite close and sharp, because there's a box structure here that you've attached the back of the firewall behind the cabin, and it was covered in sink marks and mold lines, and the effect it's had when I've been cleaning it up is that everything's ever so slightly out, and I was very, very careful to try and make sure everything was true. And I think, to be honest, I don't think anybody could really get it 100% true without a lot of jigging and stuff. And that had the impact.
The good news is that's why we have that mode that we can show off at the shows, because that just shows everything going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually very pleased that I did actually manage to make it all open, because there were points where I was considering whether I was going to nail the doors shut, because they were not playing ball yesterday. But I got there in the end. There was there was some good quality Anglo-Saxon going on.
Yes. So what was your just to recap, the white that you used was
TS26
out of a spray can.
Spray can, yeah, which is pure white.
And your final gloss, there it is. And your final gloss coat.
My go-to.
Excellent.
Mr. Super Clear UV cut. UV cut means it does not yellow in sunlight. Gorgeous stuff. This takes a little bit of mastering, your dust coats and your build coats, but when you've got it down pat, it's fantastic. And I would say though, do not spray it indoors if you've not got extraction, because it stinks. It's properly pungent stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get some of that on my next trip to Glastonbury. Simon Lewis says, lovely job, Ian. Jim Altergott says, very impressive, Mr. Lancia. Andy King says, cracking job, Ian. Anne-Marie Ryle Gould says, ooh, that looks stunning. I'm trying not to do that in a Kenneth Williams voice, but
say Anne-Marie would probably appreciate it if you did.
Mike Williams says, really like that, Ian, superb stuff. Are the seat belts fabric and etch?
Therein lies a tale. So the kit provides a length of ribbon and some photo etch buckles. The ribbon's wider than the buckle holes.
It wouldn't be Italeri if it wasn't something like that.
It wouldn't be Italeri. No. It's like those mud flaps. That is so Italeri. That set of mud flaps is just Italeri to a T. Here's a really good idea, but we're not entirely sure how you're going to follow it through. So I ended up buying balloon ribbon on the recommendation of a friend, and I used that, and it's brilliant. I now have several reels of it in a variety of interesting colors. It will cut down as well, so I can use it. I've cut it down for use on 24th scale belt structure as well, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, that was that. The aerial wire is a bit of piano wire that a friend of mine, Steve, gave me, drilled into a piece of tube, which was centered with a certain tool that we know and love from a previous show. Yes. Don't ask me where mine is. It's in a drawer over there somewhere.
Mine is, it should be in the toolbox here. No, it's not. Good Lord.
I do spend an awful lot of time.
Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Borehole positioner.
Yeah, I tell you what I did get. I got the extra bit. They do a bit.
Oh, yeah. The
broad shank drill bits as well. AliExpress is addictive. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. Christopher Joseph Buchholz says, talk about mud flaps. Ian's car's got them.
It hasn't at the minute. They've just dropped off, Chris.
Shane Weir in Australia says, good day all. I'm late to the party, but still enjoying that gorgeous car. Got a couple of questions for you, Ian. So one from Jim Altergott. He says, question for Mr. Lancia. Were cars/trucks your first love as a model builder?
No. Because what was the easiest to buy? Airfix 72nd aircraft. So I started building aircraft, and cars developed later. Just out of my grandfather was a proper petrol head, so we were fixing lawnmowers and playing with broken cars. He had all these Jags and stuff.
Paul Voyle has a question. He says, Ian, what can we expect from the new tool Fulvia that's coming?
Seen some CAD for it. There was some CAD on the Italeri site. That's the thing I meant to tell you about, John, for tonight. Sorry.
No, I'm just going to the Italeri site now. I'm sure we can.
No, it was on Italeri's Facebook page.
Right.
A couple of days to maybe a week ago. They posted up some CAD of it. If it's anything as good as the CAD looks, it'll be lovely.
Right.
And interestingly, the scheme in the box is the red with a black bonnet livery, which also ran on my favorite race in the world, the Targa Florio. With the same drivers, so it's a decent basis for me to convert that into a Targa Florio car when I get the opportunity. Looked really nice. Genuinely, Paul, I think if it's as good as that CAD looks, I will be very happy. It's going to come down to price. There you go. There's the box art. So, I mean, that's just storming.
That's I'm sold. I am absolutely sold. And here are some of the schemes.
Oh, there's only one scheme in it.
Only one scheme.
Only the one scheme. Yeah, that's which is a bit odd, actually. I have to admit, but but yeah, that looks. That's someone. Yeah, that's someone who's had access to the real car. You can.
I've always liked these. I've always liked these Lancias. I know because I grew up them in the 70s. They were kind of everywhere, really. But they just have I just love those grills. It just has a look of purpose to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's just the thing with Lancia was, they operated kind of on the sidelines of the Fiat setup in a lot of ways. That the original Stratos, the Wedge Stratos that's based on, the concept car, looks nothing like that. And then they just say, we'll make a car of it. So then they go and they go, what we're going to put in the back of it? Well, they could have put the little 4-pot that's in, I think it's a 4-pot that's in that in it, but instead they went to Ferrari and put half a Ferrari Dino engine in it. And we ended up with a world-beating rally car, Stratos. And you look at rallying from 74 all the way through into the mid 80s. These things were still competitive, and corking car. It's only when regulation changes and things like Group B came along that it really changed. And even then they come up with things like the 037 and the Delta Integrale and the S4. And I mean, they're all beautiful cars. It's interesting that, Italeri have reissued some. I think is it Protar? Not Protar. Was it Protar?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, Protar's 24 scale tooling. So there's and because they've reissued the 131 Rally as well, which was one of theirs. And you look at Italian rally cars in period were some of the best ever.
Yep. I'm hoping that when this is closer to release, I get the funny feeling this is probably going to be a Telford 2026 build. It's going to be part of that tranche, but I fancy you'll no doubt will be building one next year. But I fancy building one, just doing it in this kind of stripped down form, just to show the interior off, the interior.
Yeah, they like the chassis. The manufacturers used to display cars, display chassis and engine at shows and things like that in period, didn't they? So
yeah, it does look fabulous though, and it's God, that box art is absolutely stunning, isn't it? That's chromed parts. Well, don't worry, we've got bleach for that. Photo express, super decal sheet, Monte Carlo Rally 1972. Goodness me, and 100% new molds.
I mean, that's the thing. What is interesting is when you think that car was a major competitive car in the 70s, and we're now in 2025, and we're finally getting a kit.
Yep. Let's just play catch up. Richard WL says, very cool Lancia. Now I want to start mine. Jerry Dawes says, lovely job. Would UV clear do the mud flaps?
Don't know what you mean, Jerry.
UV clear, the UV clear glue.
UV clear resin. That's a thought, actually, and it's one I was actually considering having a play with. The problem I find is that it doesn't grip particularly well. So the problem is the thing's assembled, and I definitely can't turn it upside down. And you know what I mean? So everything I do with it, I have to do while I'm holding it. And it weighs it's not a light model. So if I drop it, it is going to go twang.
Yeah, it's a metric fleet tongue.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane says, love the Stratos after seeing them on the Lombard as a kid, which was the Daily Mirror event back then. Paul Voyle says, my father had 2 in the 70s.
He's talking about the Fulvia.
Yep. And Griffier asks, what would be a good first car model in respect you could weather and make it super dirty?
I think he's making that as an observation about the Fulvia, and he's
would be, yeah.
Because I mean, do you remember when did you get did Italy send you that Mercedes?
They did, but Jen built it.
So so that when that first was around, and you were like, that's the car to practice your weathering on.
Yeah.
So rally cars are great. The thing is, you talk about race cars, and there's so many categories of race cars now, you know, but rally cars tend to be, because of the nature of the races they compete in, intrinsically dirty. Formula One cars are mollycoddled, and you know they're the spoilt child of the era. So they're polished and kept all pristine and everything, but they still do get mucky. Actually, I've seen them post race, and you can see the muck and everything on them. But different people model in different ways. Now, I must admit, the rally builders too tend to mucky them up, and so it's a nice practice piece. It's probably the Fulvia might be a good starting point. I've got some, and if anybody wants them, if you go to Targapedia and search the eras, the Targa rally sections in the 70s, it's rammed full of pictures from the Targa. The Targa rally took over from the Targa Florio in 73 when the Targa Florio was seen to be unsafe. Something about doing 140 miles an hour through town streets and little windy roads on Sicily that did it for them. And but the rally took over, and there's some phenomenal pictures of, because it wasn't always a World Rally Championship events. You get lots of privateer cars as well as the main team vehicles, and some of them are just wonderful. You can just see where we wiped it off, put a new number on it for this year's event, and we'll have another go this year. That kind of patina, and they're great. So that's a good little source for reference material.
That was from 2 years ago. That was my new Audi Quattro, and of course I was going to throw mud at it. Of course I was. Although, as Rally Chef's model shed makes a very good point. Remember, the cars still get cleaned off as soon as possible. Our sponsors get a bit miffed if you can't see their logo. Absolutely, yeah, no. But yeah, that's well, we'll come to my project here in a second, but we've covered that one. But scrolls down.
Jim's question about handling and packaging is interesting.
Let's just go down. My father had 2. We've done that one. Yes, Protar. No, I think that's it. Here we go. Yes. Jim Alcott says, question, how fragile is handling and or packing car models for transporting to events?
Very much depends on the subject, Jim. If you're doing something like a saloon or an F1, I just go with polystyrene and cocktail sticks. I've got some they've made there's a brand over here called Really Useful Boxes, which are plastic boxes with clip-on tops. Often the handles clip up and hold the lid on. Put a big piece of polystyrene in the bottom of one of them that fits it, double-sided tape it to the bottom of the box, model in, cocktail sticks. The thing that gets damaged, there's two things that get damaged every time, and it's wing mirrors and aerials. So on a lot of my personal builds, the wing mirrors are on wire and holes. So if they do come off, you can just put them back in again. And the aerials usually go, the perennial thing is aerials. They will go twang, whatever you do. Usually when you say to someone, be careful of the aerial, and they go, what, that one? Bing.
Yes. Which is why piano wire is brilliant, because it fights back a bit, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. But no, that was Richie Griffiths, who will be along in a minute to abuse me at a show. We got the model out of the box, brand new, finished it the night before. So just be careful of the aerial. He went, well, that one, twang. It was never seen again. Complete with its little turned metal bezel bit that was in the.
Ooh. Yeah, we've just got some more. Jim Altergott. I don't think I get this one, Jim. He says aeroplanes are like dragonflies, armor very touchy as well.
Talking about transporting them.
Oh, transporting them. Yeah, aeroplane. Yes, yeah.
And Sarah Jane, yeah, I know what you mean, Sarah Jane. With respect to modern cars, tend to not be polished.
Yeah. Jerry Doyle says, I once owned an 84 Lancia Delta, spent a lot of time in the garage, Fiat 128 engine, floor had a hole, terrible car, but I loved it so much.
Yeah. And the Fiat 128 tail lights are what's on the back of a Stratos. I work for in a car dealership. I sell Seat and Cupra now, and we're part of Volkswagen Audi Group. Getting a current generation Seat or Cupra, and the stalks are straight out of VW. Go and then get in an Audi, and you'll see the same stalks. It's that, Fiat in the 70s were one of the first that really went that route, because obviously they had Ferrari, they had Lancia, they had Alfa Romeo, they had Fiat. And there was this cross-pollination of products and component that was very, very pronounced. So, there's a pair of rectangular lights on the back of that, and there's the round tail lights. Well, they're all standard fit from Fiat road cars. They were just repurposed into other products. Hence the Ferrari engine, that kind of stuff. It's just cross-pollination.
Good. This is a good one from Dave Coward. Acupuncture needles are great for aerials, very strong and springy. I'm going to ask my chiropractor the next time I see her, because she likes to stab me with acupuncture needles.
There's some in a box over here. I find the problem and then Dave he's cutting them. I tend to use a grinding disc.
Yes. Lee Suter has a question. Ian, what's your favorite scale and why?
1/24th, 1/25th, because of storage. In the space that thing is going to occupy, I can get 8. You know what I mean? It's, and I don't live in a big house, so Janet's already convinced that it's going to burst at the seams one day. And so I need too many of them, and I'm going to struggle.
Observation here from Rally Chef's Model Shed. Sarah Jane, most of our cars aren't even top coat painted. Most are now vinyl wrapped. Dave Fleming, sorry.
We had that conversation a couple of weeks back when we were talking about the McLarens, where the cars are basically bare carbon fiber, and the only bits of color are the orange and the sponsor bits, which are predominantly vinyls. So again, it's weight saving.
Dave Fleming says, my wife's Vauxhall had a lot of the same parts as my Citroen. And Christopher Joseph Buchholz says, I discovered acupuncture needles after my wife had an appointment and they'd forgotten to remove a couple. Yikes. Yeah, and Mike
That's
makes
an old one.
Bristles from dustpan brushes are good for aerials too, tough and bendy and available in different colors. Funny you say that, Mike, because when Drew was here a couple of years ago and I was trying to find an aerial for a tank, and I suddenly looked and thought, hang about, my dustpan brush that I have in the workshop here, and it had various sizes of bristles on it, and I found the perfect one, snipped it off. We were good to go. So
A good friend of mine uses his cat's whiskers for that.
yeah, I don't think Derpy would. I don't think he'd like that. No. Here we go. And Dave makes a very good point. Discarded
cat whiskers.
Yeah.
So not chasing them around the house with a pair of scissors. Then that's not a good.
No, good. No. Right. Goodness me, no. He's more like to chase me around the house with a pair of scissors, and that's a terrifying thought. So, right, what have I got round to painting the Italeri Escort Zac Speed this weekend. But before I did that, Mr. OCD here went at his spray booth with the Hoover and the spray bleach and gave it a thoroughly good clean, and then lined it with paper, damp it down and line it with paper, put a fresh filter in at the back as well. So we got some paint onto the Italeri Ford Escort. Now, unfortunately, I followed Ian's advice, and he said do it with it was with Mr. Surfacer Black. Don't have any. Have any. So I ended up giving it a tooth coat of some. It's the Tamiya satin black.
TS29.
That's the one. I gave it a couple of tooth coats. I did the interior first of all, but once I'd done that, I put it into my Von Chef dehydrator. Oh my goodness me, what a bit of kit. Well, actually, the first thing I did was I washed the body in the washing up bowl, gave it a really good scrub, and then put it in the dehydrator to dry. Just put it on the lowest setting. 5 minutes later, absolutely perfect. So we went at it with the Tamiya TS to a tooth coat to get the interior kind of introduced to the paint, then a slightly heavier coat on there. Then for the exterior, again, a tooth coat into the dehydrator, and then back out again about 20 minutes later I didn't leave the dehydrator running for 20 minutes. I did it until it was dry. 20 minutes later, wet coat back into the dehydrator. That was the result. I am frankly amazed at how well that paint settled down in after, and that's the satin black wet coat. I'm sold. Dehydrators, absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to start cracking on with the wet coat, with the gloss coats, quite frankly. But Ian, your advice was in fact, I've got the model here. Oops, Daisy. Your advice was to get it to a primer stage. So ideally, this would be Gunzi Mr. Surfacer Black, but it's not because we don't have any. Yeah. So it's been primed with the Tamiya TS spray. So we are going to let that cure off for at least another day. Then we're going to go at it with our Trizact, aren't we?
Just give it. You need the finest grade you've got.
Yep.
Did you get an 8,000 in the end, or are you still on 6?
I think. Let me just go to my drawer here. Let's just have a quick look, see what I got. Oh, ouch! Can't open the door. Why can't I open the drawer? Oh, for goodness sake! Something's jammed in the drawer, and I can't. Oh, there we go. And it's not even that drawer I need. Oh. What did we have? I don't think I did, Ian. I think what have I got here? I got 6,000.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got 6,000. I got two things.
Very wet and not too many passes.
Yep.
Just because what you're doing is you're denubbing it. So any little flecks and just getting that, anything you can do to just make that surface that bit smoother.
Yep.
If you get to the point where you need a second coat, you need a second coat. That's how it is.
Well, what I'm hoping is I'll denib it, and then the next, because it's black, it might be then that I go straight for the gloss coat. But I just couldn't. I mean, when I did the wet coat on it, I thought, oh no, I've really kind of like jinged this up now. But just put it straight into the dehydrator, let it run for like I say, on the lowest setting, and it just absolutely stunning. I think
when you say the low setting, I'm presuming you're on the one that says low.
Literally the first setting when you turn the dial, when it lights up.
Mine tends to be on 50.
Yep.
Just for particularly procuring the gloss coats.
Yep. My one observation would be, I don't know how well that dehydrator would work when it comes to anything that's got glued seams, because I'm slightly concerned that the mild heat may would it start affecting glued seams or not?
I've not had that problem. I've had entire 72nd scale aircraft in that built up and drying. You know, the yellow Mustang.
Yes.
That was put in there on between decals.
Okay.
As I was building because obviously all those checkers, I wanted them set before I put the next section on, so it was going in.
Yeah.
So I've not had that problem.
I like this. Jim Ortgott says, spray booth maintenance is a regular task of mine. Dust build-up can ruin a paint job, or if you're Stewie Griffin, ruin a paint job. And Mike Williams says, spray booth cleanliness is not OCD, it's just good practice. Fail to prepare to fail.
Yes.
Dave Fleming says, looks weirdly silver grey. I think he means my my Escort looks weirdly silver grey. Now, Ian, the one thing I am going to have to do is these separator trays. I need to put more depth into it. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm going to get my brute force cutters, not my best ones, but my brute force. No, I'm not going to do that. I can see you pull the face.
I don't know, because it's quite brittle plastic. So I used a Dremel type drill and a cutting disc. I suppose you could possibly use. Have you got
I've got the ones that come with the
old Zorons.
No, as Jet Scale Model says, what did you do on Sunday? Well, we watched a man from Dudley, a man from Dudley go through his drawers.
It's quite. I mean, it's quite. I don't know. I mean, I went with the grinding disc because I didn't want to break the outer frame.
Yeah.
I'm
just having a look. I'm just trying to see where my razor saw's gone.
Talk amongst yourselves, people. The other one I use, I have what a keyhole saw is. Basically a handle with a hacksaw blade with no frame. So that's quite a useful option.
I know what I've got. Tim Maunder will be shouting at his screen at the moment. Oops, daisy. Oh, I've dropped all my pencils now. I've got one of.
Is that a useful?
Not a metaphor. That's what I'm looking for. What are they? A Japanese razor saw, hypercut saw. So what we're going to do is, there we go. So we will gently. Would you go right up to the edge, or?
I did. Yeah. Well, I went as close to the edge as I can manage with the grinder.
Close to the edge, down by the river. Sorry.
It did take me a couple of days.
Yeah, I can.
Which is
There we
why I
go.
ended up resorting to the cutting disc and the Dremel.
Yeah, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit uh, I'm a little bit weak when it comes to hate doing this because this is there we go. So that's that one done. What'd you do on Sunday? I tuned in and watched the Confused Man from Dudley or Ledley, make your mind up, cut up his Von Chef dehydrator. But
Rich Griffiths, it's a hot knife. That's a thought.
that's a hot knife. Yes, that's very,
close
very...
quarters hacksaw. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Griffiths says use a hot knife.
Mhm.
And close quarters hacksaw. So yes, I will do that at my leisure. But I am really looking forward to cracking on with this because being a rally car, of course, we can chuck mud at it, and also these, from what I could tell from the reference photographs, these weren't massively kind of like concourse finish anyway. So I can cheat a bit there, quite frankly. But I do love these. I do love these Escorts. I just think they are. My uncle had a. He didn't have a country farm, but he did have a couple of these, and he was always kind of like faffing around with them, and especially the Ford Escort, the Mexicos with the big wheel arches. I just think they were absolutely brilliant looking cars. But
in their time, they were the car to have. You know, if you were a car enthusiast or if you were a race driver, whatever, there was a point in time when Escorts were the car to have. Mark 1s and Mark 2s, definitely. Richie, who's just made the comment about the hot knife, he produces some absolutely beautifully resin cast bits to upgrade that kit.
Okay.
And also to for the bell kits Mark 1 to make it into the road car and things like that, and all engines, wheel arch bits, all sorts of stuff, X-Pack Mark 2s and things. So I was more a Triumph. I was Triumph guy. You know, I had Dolomite Sprints and things like that, where I was the opposition to it, Ford. But you have to accept their position in the market was phenomenal.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm just having a sort through my box of Escort bits here at the moment.
Richie says they still are the car to have. Yeah, but at the prices of them now, Richie, none of us can afford them anymore, mate.
Well, funny you say that, because one of the things that I was doggedly determined 5 years ago when I had to retire my beloved Rover Mini Cooper 1.3 fuel injection, brilliant car. I thought, well, I'll have a look around, perhaps I'll get another one. Nope. They had gone from being the mini for sale, good little runner, 250 quid. Those days have gone, Ian. The high thousands now. So Ofer Cohen asked the question, is there an Escort Mark 1 kit?
Yes. Bell kits. It is, however, optimized to be a rally car. You're wanting a road one. I believe Richie will answer in a second. Are you making that Mark 1 road floor plan that you had? His resin. So yeah. So he made because the wheel arch liners and stuff are optimized for the rally version. So you have to do a little bit of work on it to make the road car rather.
Of course, Airfix in 32nd scale do a Ford Escort Mark 1. Question here. Simon Lewis asks, hi Ian, do you gloss coat your windscreens?
No, I don't. I polish them with Novus plastic polish, which mainly because I've had windscreens are a risky thing. If you excuse my French, if you cock them up, there's no way back.
Mm.
With the solid plastic bits, like you say, you can hide an awful lot with some mud, and or some filler and some sanding, but you can't do that with the windscreen. So I tend to just polish my glass with whatever plastic polish is currently in fad. I've been using Novus for years. It's a 3-2-1 process, and it's very, very good. They tend to be the last thing added to the model. So bear with me. For instance,
for the most part, they usually slot up through the underside of the body.
Well, yeah, this is that Hasegawa Skyline that's making very slow but steady progress towards complete. So the glass has been masked and sprayed using the kit supplied masks. It'll be polished. It needs polishing as well, and then it should just pop into the body shell as part of the final assembly process. So, and look, thus. But yeah, I'm not a. I've seen a couple of people do it with 2-pack clear, which we know my opinion around 2-pack clear, but and get very good results, and it looks sparkly and clear and wonderful. But no, I just don't risk it. It's just a personal thing. Other people might say, well, I do it, and that's fine. Each to their own, but I tend not to.
We do actually have some finished items on this Escort, but we have actually managed to get the wheels painted. So so they are silver rims with gold hubs, apparently, or yes, gold spokes.
They are. That's BBS.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all done. So that can all go back in the box. So I am, like I say, I am hoping to. I mean, the interior is all painted. So yeah,
you'll go from. I've got a body in prime. I've got the body in primer and some bits to. Oh, hang on, it's nearly finished. Like that, which is funnily enough what's happened with something else on my bench.
Well, actually, I'm just going to go and grab something from the shelf here as well. So bear with. Ah,
yeah.
Right, what have we got here? Mike Williams says, oh no, he says,
yeah, but he works in a very different environment to us.
Yeah, works very well, but you have to sand the clear parts first, and if you get it wrong, there is no way back. Simon Lewis says, so do you mask them off? I think he means your clear parts.
Hence the previous.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah. Paul Voyle says, loved my Dolomite, made me smile if I started. Wasn't the Dolomite slightly based on the Fiat?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No, so there was the Toledo, which was the smaller one.
Yep.
And then there was the Dolomite, which was a larger one. My first Dolomite was a 1500 twin carb. It had a Marina twin carb with dual SU90s in it. And then I upgraded later on to a 2-litre Sprint, which was rapid, shall we say, and scary if you got it wrong.
I can always remember the. Oh gosh, this is going back 21 years ago now, Ian. When I went to Cardiff and picked up the green Mini that I'd bought over there. I went over there on like a Tuesday, saw it, and I said I'll buy it, but I need to go home and sort out insurance. So I came back the next day, bought it. I remember driving along, getting used to. Actually, the handling was pretty much the same as my red one. And then going down the slip road for the motorway and doing what I used to do on the red one, which was really having to kind of like put your foot to the floor to get up to speed. Did that on this one, 1.3 litre fuel injection engine. It was, yeah, we won't do that again. But talking of which, this is another project that I've got on the go here. And it is a replica of my beloved green Mini. Now this is I think this is the Aoshima kit, which I've been working on and off for the last couple of years, but we've, as you might be able to see there on the interior, see if I can zoom in on the interior a bit more. it is a replica all the way down to the well beads on the repair on the passenger side on the floor. The fact that the floor where I tried to beat off the rust it had red primer sprayed all around the edges, and yep, it's pretty much, and also the seats. That's what my old Cooper seats were like, and there it is. That I masked and sprayed the roof on that. It's not perfect. And rather bizarrely, because I was a little bit too quick with the clear coat on this, the clear coat actually cracked on the paintwork.
Oh.
But it's that whole thing about where the paint's gassing off underneath, and it just cracks it. But weirdly, the roof decal on my old Cooper did exactly the same.
Ha.
So I've managed by accident to recreate a feature of my old Cooper. So yeah, and this was it's been trizacked a bit. It probably could do with a clear coat and a bit more trizacting, but we will get round to finishing that off, because it's got to go to Antiques Model Shop in Bristol. Thank you to Andy Hills for the kit. But yeah,
and I tell you one thing I do notice. Whenever that Mini is mentioned, one or two people make a very similar observation. In this instance, it's Mr. Fleming. Apparently, that car lacks a terrified passenger. I seem to remember Drew saying something similar.
Yeah, Dave. I picked Dave up from Bristol Airport once, and I can't remember where we went. But yeah, no, he wasn't terrified. He didn't scream that much. Yeah, Mike Williams says your Mini Cooper roof has had a Bob Ross happy accident. Yeah, bizarre that. But yeah, we will get that one finished off at some stage. Oh well, just me on my workshop. So yes, we will. Yeah, that's not a priority though. So that's more a kind of like a noodle project that I kind of dip back into and try some ideas out and things. But I need to get the Escort done, Ian, because we are minus 8 weeks away from Telford.
You shouldn't tell me that. Anyway, on that subject, if I may.
Go on.
I finished one of my Telford models.
Go on, then.
Which is this. Which, if you were on the last show,
yes,
you will remember, was silver and gold last time you saw this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 1950 Ford Custom that I've been working on for a while. And it has gold flames on a silver finish last time it was finished. It's now finished. I think that shows up quite nicely. So this is Gunze GX peacock green candy coat over the silver and gold flames. And this, yeah, I was quite pleased with that.
Stunning.
It's funny thing is, I think of that one as a bit of a project, as a bit of a learning curve model. I learned a lot building that in respect of some changes in process that I was adopting, and yeah, but it came up decent, that's for sure. I'm really impressed with that, with the Gunze candy finish.
And remind me, that was the one that you chopped the roof on, wasn't it?
Well, the roof, no, the chopped roof was an optional part in the kit when the kit was first released. So here's when you get into ooh moments. So I have a friend called Linda who lives in Seattle. Her father went to the World's Fair in Seattle in 1960. Oh my God, it's a long time ago. When the her mum and dad, when the Space Needle in Seattle was unveiled, and we believe he bought this kit there, or that the kit that roof part there came from, because it was handed to me as a pre-built after he passed by Linda. The large part, the rest of it was pretty much beyond repair, but that roof is ultra rare because it was only in the first boxing of the kit, possibly the first 2 boxings of the kit, after which they deleted it and replaced it with a conventional soft top roof. But as the kit's been reissued over the years, they've never deleted the chopped windscreen and frame that goes with it, or the rear glass. This has always been the bit that's missing. And I had a couple of the kits of my own, and so I've rebuilt using the roof from Dwayne's car. And it's kind of a tribute to what his model was like, because his model was green as well, and a slightly different finish. And yeah, very pleased with that one, actually. It's just waiting on its case, as I've got into the habit of putting things in cases now. Now I've found a reliable source of them with the visual impact cases. So this motorbike's been repaired because it was damaged at some point, and I've put it into a case now. So that's one of my jobs that I've done this week, in between other things. That's the Tamiya Panigale, which is a beautiful kit. So I've repaired that, put it in a case, and that's ready for display. So when the case comes for this, I'll be doing that, and I'll put some pictures up. But that need doing for Telford, this happened.
That's what I'd just gone looking for.
So this is the Italeri 1/12 scale Bugatti in the Targa Floria livery. This is the 3rd issue of this kit now. There's been a road version, there's been a Grand Prix version. This one allows you to either build the Targa Floria car from 1928 or the 1930 Monaco Grand Prix car. It's interesting. It feels completely different to the Stratos. It's engineered differently, but there are similar trends going on. There are some very interesting design decisions. There's an awful lot of screws. Yeah. Whereas with some brands, you wouldn't have them. You'd have glue joints. This has got screws holding things on, and it's all a bit odd. But that side, as a piece of model building, it's fabulous. The chassis does actually pop out of that floor. That talking about the difference between that and the Stratos, this there's a join here all the way up there, and it's on a panel line in this, and it literally just
is that a glued joint?
Yeah, glued joint. So this piece here with these meshes, these drills in, is separate from here back to here, and you can see the line running there. In fact, hang on, let's zoom that in a bit. You can see it there. Look.
Yeah, just faintly.
Yeah, and you don't need. That's it. So just glued it, wax some Tamiya camel yellow on it. There's a story behind that as well. Spent a lot of time. I painted it with a brighter yellow, and it just didn't look right to the photographs I had of the car in period. And I did a bit of digging around. The car was driven by a lady by the name of Elizabeth Janek, who I believe was Czech. And I found a website about her. She was quite famous in her time. There's a little bit of scandals and also, as is often the way with these things, going on. And she was quite famous in her time. And I found a website about it, and there was reference to this color being a darker yellow. So I opted for Tamiya camel yellow, which, funnily enough, is the one the kit recommends. So perhaps I should have just taken them at their word straight away.
That's not dissimilar to RF trainer yellow, which
it's very similar.
quite an orange. quite an orangey color. It always does my nut in, Ian, when I see RF decals, and the yellow is this kind of insipid yellow, and it shouldn't. It should be almost on the orange spectrum, but hey ho. Now you had fun with that, didn't you?
Yeah, this is fine to me. So the fit is absolutely, as you can see, the fit is lovely on this body.
Yeah.
There's something about this shape though that keeps making that happen.
Yeah, we'll bring up the image for you. There we go. Bum, 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 bum.
And I've stripped this blooming thing twice already. I'm loath to do it a third time, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and sand this out and repaint, and then put another coat on top. But anyway, it's a little bit brighter than Papaya, Mike. The rest of it's pretty much, look, it's one of them. It's like, I've got a box of bits. So I'm in that case of just steadily working through the assembly sequence now, and just putting in literally, because everything is glued and or painted up, ready to build to it. I've done a load of work on the instrument panel.
Yikes!
This machine finish is decal that's provided in the kit, and that's a real highlight.
Yeah,
and you'll notice it's done the same thing the Stratos decals have done. There's little patches of gloss. I can't work out what that is, and I think all I can think of is it's the adhesive from the decal sheets. It won't shift either. So there you go. And then used the UV resin for the dials. Picked out the bezels with some Molotov chrome before I did that. There's a lot of wiring to go, so you have to put tubes, the black vinyl tubing, go on there, and then they go in that slot, 4 on each side. The problem is the vinyl tubing that was in the box was tied up so tightly in a bundle, it's gone flat. So luckily there was some left over from the Stratos that wasn't flat, so I'm in the process of recycling that onto it. There's some bits and pieces to add to that panel. They're all in the box of bits here, and to be honest, it's going to go from hero to zero pretty quickly, I think. The thing that might hold me up is getting a decent finish on that rear bodywork.
Yeah. Dave Fleming makes the observation: lead chromate pigment gives that rich egg yolk yellow.
All right. Okay.
Paul Dunham has a question for you, Ian. He says, Ian, do you secure the models to the bottom to the case bottom? If so, how?
Yes.
These are your display cases.
Yeah. Depending on the model, the bikes are a pain in the backside to fix because, of course, they're usually on a stand like this. So that stand, and you might be able to see, is PVA'd on all the wheels and on the back of the frame here. Using the now legendary Formula 560, and then there's a blob under the front wheel, under the front tire. You might be able to, and you know what?
No, don't do that.
Works pretty well.
Yeah.
Don't know it. There's a bit of dust on that. That's annoying me. Where did that come from? But it does the job. I mean, obviously there's a bit of wobble because there's obviously flex going on in the model, but it does the job. And I've transported this bike in this way around the country for a while now. Or sorry, not this bike. I've transported bikes in this way around the country for shows and stuff for a while now, and that's a really neat way of doing it. This one just needed fixing up. I'd managed to ping one of the wing mirrors and some various other bits off of it earlier on. As you know, I cannot fault these visual impact cases. They are. I mean, I think it was £12 that case. You know, and they're perfect for what they are. And what is noticeable is the lack of need to dust them.
Mm.
You know, they really are properly sealed. I see a lot of people with, with the IKEA cabinet, the classic IKEA square cabinet, and the doors just leak dust, and it doesn't matter what you do, they will leak dust. So you end up dusting them with that. Keeps the dust off really nicely.
Mm-hmm. We are going to have to wrap this up in a moment, Ian, but I'm just going to, I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to say we are expecting soon a copy of the new Tamiya Honda Prelude. It might be one that I have to build for Telford, but I'm sure we can see what we can do and see if we can get you one as well. But yes, I'm fully expecting one. I'm hoping we're going to get one of those very, very soon. So with a bit of luck, with a little bit of luck,
with its golf clubs.
With its golf clubs, yes. And also, I do have behind me. I didn't get it ready for the show tonight. I do have that big Tyrrell that I'm building for Russ, the owner of Jadlam. So I'm hoping to get that finished for him for Christmas. So it'll be a nice trip down there to deliver that to him. But just going to do little bits and pieces on it for now. But that's going to have to wait until after Telford. But which, as ever, will come like the BMW of life. It will come zooming into your rearview mirror quicker than you really want it to. So
it does every year. Usually, just about the point when the finances take a kick. I've never quite worked that one out.
Well, right, here we go. Any other business?
We mentioned AliExpress, didn't we?
We did. Very bad for your debit card or credit card, even.
When I ordered the doodah tool that we discussed.
Oh, Ian, move that Lancia away from the edge of that desk, please. It's kicking my
Did your oh my god kick in then?
Yeah, it did. My anxiety kicked in.
While I was making up an order total, I found this little thing. I don't know the brand, if I'm honest, because it's just this is a little one of these photo etch tape cutting things.
Oh right.
So it's cast in. It's fairly hefty. We'll just say that. But if you can see, it's a fairly substantial bit of what appears to be stainless steel, and then it's etched with the grid pattern. And I see a lot of the Gundam videos. You'll see a lot of them using them.
Yeah.
So you lay a bit of tape on. What you don't want to do is burr your tape down too hard because you can't see the trace line. Get yourself a nice new number 11 blade. And get it right. Just place your blade in and drag it across. And in the opposite direction. And then I see people, that thing, the difference between a good model and an excellent model.
Mm-hmm.
It can be something as simple as this. If you take a piece of tape off your reel and you use that edge to mask something, whatever it might be, there's always a little bit of tape, a little bit of adhesive on that edge of that tape. And it's from the cutting process when the reels are cut.
It's also uneven as well.
Yeah, and it's not as neat and tidy as it may appear. That is a properly cut edge, and with a sharp demarcation with no adhesive transfer, and it's a lovely little thing. What you notice is there's grades in it, so it goes 5mm, 4mm, 2.5. On this side there's 3mm and a gradient, but this one's quite interesting because there's this has got the lengths on it. So there's 10mm, 8mm. Let me get that right. 10mm, 2/8, 6, 5, and 4mm. And then there's 1mm point. I really must get my eyesight checked. 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, and 0.4 widths in a grading. So as a little tool,
Have you got the packaging there, Ian?
I have.
Right.
Let me see what it just says. Model Professional Tools MS-016, made in China.
Okay.
On the back, so I can't see a brand on it anywhere. That's what's.
No, what was that serial number? MS-016.
MS-016.
Yeah, MS, and you got it from AliExpress.
Here
we go. Found it.
Oh
my goodness me! £4.59.
I think that's more than I paid, actually.
Right.
Because
I'm just going to go and carry on.
I was in the middle of another thing, and it came up as a "you might also like." I think it might have had a bit of a saving on it.
Yep, I am just going to our Facebook page, and I am just sharing the link. Useful tool! !
And it, even if it is £4 something,
that's worth it.
That's worth every penny.
Yeah,
and if you can't use it for masking thing, I think if you hit someone hard enough with it, it might render them unconscious. But
right on that note, I will yet again disclaimer. No, I'm.
I love it. It's got some proper heft to it.
Yeah,
it's a proper piece of kit. That.
No, I'm gonna. First thing tomorrow morning, I am going to order one of them. Go online and order one of them. So
the problem is, I've now ended up with about 4 of the stores that are, the Gundam modeling stores and the mods. And every time I open AliExpress, there's something new and shiny that you go, oh,
yeah, and
then don't buy because it's dreadful. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm a tool tart, my friend, Mr. Fleming.
No, I am as well, and I mean, people can probably see on the shelves of doom behind me is that yes, I absolutely, I'd rather buy tools than models, quite frankly, because tools will get used, pretty much every time I sit down at the workbench. Tools will get used, whereas kits will just go up in the attic. And
well, I'm with you on that at the minute. I've got far too many of the latter. No. And I definitely don't need any more at the moment of my own. You know what I mean?
Oh, I tell myself I don't need any more, and then every week something new comes out. I'm just like, I'm instantly distracted. So on that note, see, who would have thought I wanted to build a Ford Escort Zaxby? I'm loving this, and of course, the other reason why I'm loving this is it's ex-Eshy.
Yeah.
Although one of the things I will say I did have fun with, just very, very quickly. I don't know if you can see there, inside the bonnet. Oh no, I'll do it on the camera. There we go. On the bonnet, these X-shaped cross beams caused massive sinkage on the upper surface. So that was given multiple coats of super glue and talcum powder, and then covered with Mr. Surfacer, brushed coats of Mr. Surfacer. Then it was rubbed down, and then another brush coat of Mr. Surfacer, and just bit by bit by bit until eventually it's still there. If I angle it at certain angles, I can still see it, but it's very faint. It's subliminal. So yeah, that was fun. But I'm looking forward to getting the gloss coat on that, and then yeah, we've got finished sub assemblies here. So Right, excellent stuff. Right, so hopefully, Ian, fingers crossed, we'll do another car show in about 4 weeks' time. Then, if you're
Yeah,
around, yeah, it'd be good. Be good.
yeah. Sometime towards the middle of October. Oh my God.
I know, terrifying thought that, isn't it? And Dave Fleming says, speaking of Jadlam, they now have the Hobby 2000 reissue of the Fujimi Phantom FG1 in stock. And he also makes the comment, Ian is an enabler, which I think is slightly unfair, but
I don't think he's wrong.
No, I think that's
I'm quite happy. I'll take that.
Yeah. There are far worse things to be called. Right. On that note, a big thank you to Ian for joining us tonight. Big thank you to everybody who's tuned in to frankly watch two middle-aged men riff about car models for an hour and 20 minutes. But there we go. You know the score, people. Come on. Fingers crossed, we'll be back next Sunday for a regular Sunday service because we've got plenty of news to play catch up on. Until then, as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. So from us both, bye for now.
Night.